Okay, we are here on day 2, and again, those words that we focused on and we were introduced to yesterday were nosing around, edible, and inedible. So I want you to think for a moment, which word did you like talking about yesterday, and why? If you have someone next to you, you can turn and talk or think to yourself. Maybe you chose a different example than myself, but I thought nosing around was a great word to talk about. I know that I learned it was actually an idiom, so it means something different. You're not actually moving your nose around. And then we also got to discuss 3 different examples with Milton where we were talking about if we're nosing around or not. So now we're going to play a game called Does It Make Sense? I'm going to read you a scenario that includes a vocabulary word from yesterday, and you will decide whether it makes sense or not. Let's look at the first example. Emmy got a birthday present for Samuel. She was about to wrap the present when she discovered that he had opened the door to her room and was peeking to see what she was doing. "You're such a snoop," Emmy said. "Stop nosing around." Does nosing around make sense here? Why or why not? If you said that nosing around does make sense, you are correct. We know that nosing around means that you're snooping, and obviously Samuel wanted to try to get a peek at what Emmy got for him for his birthday. Let's look at another example. I was grocery shopping. I saw a peach covered with ugly black spots. "Ew, this peach is rotten and quite edible," I said. Does the word edible here make sense? Why or why not? Right. If a peach it's a rotten with black spots, then you're not going to eat it. And I know that edible means that it's safe to eat. So in this example, the word edible does not make sense. Let's look at the last example. Mrs. Sipple likes the taste of fresh mushrooms, but she can never cook with mushrooms that grow in her yard because they are poisonous and inedible. Does the word inedible make sense here? Right, we know that inedible means that the item is not safe to eat. So if Mrs. Sipple has mushrooms that she knows are poisonous that are growing in her backyard and she's not eating them, then that must mean that they are inedible or not safe to eat. So just as a reminder, the prefix in changes the meaning of a word to mean the opposite. Let's look at some examples. Here are some words that we know the meaning of: complete, visible, correct, and effective. So how do you make these words into antonyms or the opposite? You can add the prefix, which means "n", which means not. Now we have these new words: incomplete, invisible, incorrect, and ineffective. That wraps up day 2. See you back tomorrow for day 3.